Howdy everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. I just thought we'd do a little something different today. Just introduce everyone to the new project motorcycle. It's not really much of a project. It mainly just needs touching up and cleaning up. It's ready to ride like it is. This is a 1994 Honda Pacific Coast. I purchased this last week from a friend of the family and we had a great time. It's got 49,000 miles on it. It's in excellent condition. It's got a lot of neat features. Of course, everybody comments that it looks a lot like a scooter, and I walk in and I can show you some of the features here. We'll start with this giant trunk in the back, and the way it opens is kind of unique. You have to open the gas cap lid, then you pull up on this handle, and that opens up the trunk. I keep my spare tire kit and air compressor in there, and there's still enough room for a couple of helmets or a weekend's worth of luggage, whatever you want to take with you. I'll post a picture of it right here in just a second of how it was when I got it. It had a large rack on the back with a small top box that, although handy, I didn't really like it. The fuel filler is down in this hole. There's a remote handle to adjust the idle speed with if you need to do that. This is all fake. The air box is under here. The fuel tank is under the seat, which gives this thing a really unique low center of gravity. Everything else up here is standard motorcycle controls. When Honda built this thing, they designed this thing, the idea was to appeal to car drivers. I'll have to give Honda credit for innovation even when it doesn't take off. You know, they started with the Honda Cubs and Super Cubs, which is the world's best-selling vehicle. Then of course in 1969 they gave us the CB750, which redefined motorcycling as it could be through the decade of the 70s and onward. In '83, they gave us the Honda Interceptor, the VF750, and as well as the 500 and the 1000s, and basically created the superbike class. This was one of their attempts that didn't go so well. They've done a lot of failures. I won't really call them failures. These are unusual motorcycles in that they weren't that popular when they were new, but they have a cult following and have become collector's items since then. Other examples of that are the Honda Helix scooter, of course the Pacific Coast, and then also in later times the Honda DN01 motorcycle and the Voltus NM4, which were all very unusual, radical, groundbreaking designs, which just didn't sell that well. But now all of them are becoming collector's items. This particular example has been very well cared for. You can switch the key on, we'll listen to it run. It's very quiet, very solid, reliable. When you're sitting behind this big windscreen, it's a giant air bubble. It's very calm. The engine's got a little bit of get up and go to it. It's not super amazing, but it'll get you where you want to be. It's an 800cc V-twin. It was taken out of the Shadow Cruiser line. It still has shaft drive. You think with all this bodywork, basic maintenance would be a chore, but it's not. This cover right here pops off, and you can check the oil and change the oil filter. It's a shaft drive. So if you come around here, instead of worrying about a chain, All you have to do is check the oil in the rear end. This particular example, like I said, has been very well cared for. It's got some usage marks on it. Got a few little things that need touching up. A little scrape on the end of the mirror, paint chip here or there. But overall, it looks really good to be a 30-year-old motorcycle that's never been repainted. Now, since there's not much excitement going on with the shop, I'm still working on the SR500. I'm getting stuff done to it. It seems like I keep taking 2 steps forward, 3 steps back on that particular project. Working things up. Okay, let me go ahead and tell you about the events that I'll be at for the rest of the fall season. Starting Saturday, September 28th in Piedmont, South Carolina at the Saluda River Grill will be the Gas Vintage Motor Fest. I'll be there, and you could find me in the Japanese motorcycle section. This is a fantastic event with vendors and food, excellent food at the Saluda River Grill, and all kinds of bikes in attendance from all around the world. It'd be well worth a day in September for you. After that will be the Barber Vintage Festival from October the 11th through the 13th. I will be there. I'll be bringing you highlights on this channel from all around the venue, and there will be 3 distinct shows put on by the Vintage Japanese Motorcycle Club that I will be at. The first one on Friday, with registration starting at 10 a.m., is the Misfits Custom Motorcycle Show. This is for all vintage custom motorcycles 20 years or older, made in Japan. For all vintage Japanese custom motorcycles. It'll be a great time. There's always a unique variety of motorcycles. And I'll be broadcasting that on the VJMC YouTube channel, as well as judging it. Then, later that afternoon, with registration starting at 1 o'clock, will be the Sweet Sounds of Japanese Horsepower competition. This competition is always a blast, and it is open to all Japanese motorcycles, including brand new ones. If you've got a good sounding Japanese motorcycle, bring it out and rev it up and let us all hear it. Then Saturday is the VJMC members only bike show. This show is for 100% pure stock motorcycles with no aftermarket additions and no modifications. These are some of the best Japanese motorcycles you will see anywhere in the world, and it will be well worth your time. Saturday, registration starts around 10. The show kicks off at 11 and lasts until 2:30 with awards later that afternoon. Then finally, on October the 26th, Saturday, from 11 to 2:30 in Concord, North Carolina, at Fatback's Man Cave on Main Street, will be the Spooktacular Cruise-In. This is not a competition, it's not a show. We'll get together with our motorcycles and have food, fellowship, and enjoy one another's company, bench race, and BS, and just have a great time. Well, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I'm leaving links to the events below. And that's all for now. Keep riding, keep wrenching, and stay crazy.